Hey guys, it's Yuzora, and today we will be talking about the Tier 10 European destroyer, the Gdansk. So, it's the same as usual, we are getting a new line with the next update as an early access. And well, you know, it's the usual, you farm tokens, you have random bundles, you buy these random bundles, and you have ships in early access, as well as, I have to say, particularly thick skins. Like, the skins for the European destroyers, they are pretty amazing looking. Anyway, also, for the split, so the tier 8, she will only be available in a random, in the battle pass as a final reward. But yeah, beyond that, the Gdansk herself, she is a pretty amazing package. So, I just need to address a small issue. Back in the days when she was first announced with the rest, people got a bit upset for, well, a legitimate reason. As you can see, in terms of consumables, she has both a smoke generator and a surveillance radar, just like the black. Now, in the case of the black, these days, it isn't as scary as before, because, you know, the firepower of a Fletcher, it's not that great these days. There are a lot more strong actual gunboat destroyers to compete with it. But when it comes to the European destroyers, it's another story, because as you can see with that Sherman, well, I'm slapping her pretty hard. First two salvos were already almost 7k damage, and that just keeps racking me. Now, it's not as bad. It isn't as bad as you might think, because as you just saw, the radar only lasts for 10 seconds. And unless we are in an anime, 10 seconds, well, it is short. In 10 seconds you have the time to get 4 salvos at best. And when it comes to your teammates, it's even worse since you have the 5 seconds delay, so it's more like... most of the time it's going to be 2 salvos, sometimes 1, and even for very specific cases more, but that's nitpicking at this point. But, well, it might be short in duration, but it's also short in terms of cooldown, because as you just saw, it's already back online after only 60 seconds. So, if you're hiding in a smoke and you put radar, you can just get 2 radars in action in a single smoke duration. And generally speaking, well, at least for now, people just don't expect that to happen. So the destroyers think, yeah, it's fine, I can now stay in my smoke, I'm safe. Well, no, you're not. Especially, yeah, as you see by now, the firepower of the Gdansk, as well as the split and the Katsones, not sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, it's definitely no laughing matter. They might not have AP shells, which is kinda sad because it's the same guns as the French destroyers. But these guns, they slap very hard, and unlike on the French destroyers, you don't have the relatively long main to reload to compensate for the reload booster. Now here for the Gdansk, it's just a bit more than 3 seconds of reload time. So yeah, she is a very, very strong gunboat. However, well, there is a bit of a downside to the ship, and it's her size. The Gdansk is absolutely massive. You might think, yeah, but it's just a Mogador, it's not that big. Well, no, it's not. It's actually way bigger than the Mogador. It's one of the largest destroyers in the game, in fact. So, if you're like me being a bit overconfident, thinking that you can push because you have a Ruprecht that can demolish that one rune completely isolated, well, you might kinda regret your decision because you will take a lot of damage at close range. That's why, generally speaking, the Gdansk, as well as the rest of the European gunboat destroyers, you will prefer to stay at medium to long range. You're going to exploit that great ballistics that allows you to get easily a lot of damage from a safe distance, and that will compensate from being otherwise a very large target. Especially in the case of the Gdansk, the firing angles are particularly bad. You have to show a lot of broadsides to get all guns to bear. So yeah, you will definitely present a pretty big target. That's actually also why I'm not using Concealment Expert. I'm instead taking Fearless Broader. I remember the name of that skill. Greater firing range. And also BFT, so the real time. So I don't myself get baited in getting too close and just end up dying. That was actually the big mistake I was doing at the start when testing. I was just greedy of using the actual radar. I was getting too deep and yeah, I was just getting focused by everything breathing. That's why, yeah, with the European gunboat destroyers, you want to keep a safe distance. And when I think about it, I actually feel that these ships will actually have a fairly high skill floor because of all the problems I listed just before. You can't just go in, pop the radar, and then you are completely fine. Not because of the large size, even with the high speed of the ship, you just need to be very careful of your positioning, of what you are engaging, of where and when you can bail out. You need to keep this in mind. So, might be a bit difficult for the average player. But we'll see. Now, beyond the firepower, I have to say that the torpedo armament of the Gdansk is particularly solid. So, she has 10 torpedoes with the same characteristics as on the torpedo boat European destroyers. So it's torpedoes with low damage, low flooding chances, but very high speed of, in this case, 86 knots. And the best part is that the Gdansk actually has a lower torpedo detection range than the island. So she happens to have a pretty low torpedo reaction time. Taking these torpedoes on top of the fact that they have the narrow spread, well, they happen to be a very reliable armament in most situations. They technically have the drawback of having fairly short range. Oh well, short, it's 10 kilometers, but I mean compared to the concealment. So it's kinda something to keep in mind. But otherwise, when you have the occasion, you can definitely use them. When it comes to the anti-air, well, it is bad because since she's using the same guns as the Mogador, she has no long-range anti-air. But at least both the medium and the short range are fairly strong. So against, for example, tier 8 carriers, you are not completely bareboat. That's at least one thing to compensate. Now, generally speaking, you don't exactly want to face carriers. But yeah, you will have to figure it out eventually. Now, for the rest, yeah, as a whole, in my opinion, it's definitely a very strong new line that we are getting now. The high tier ships are somewhat balanced when it comes to the combination of smoke generator and surveillance radar. The Gdansk, she's very strong and capable, and I'm not sure she'll be used in competitive. We'll see. I mean, it's a very short radar, so I don't know. So, yeah, honestly, definitely worth grinding. Anyway, guys, that's all for me. Game is anyway about to end, so I will let you here. See ya!